Om Tat Sat. Good evening and namaste to all. Shall we listen to one more story? Story of how a person was initiated into the path of spirituality by his wife. Sri Sant TulasiDas. He was the one who composed Sri Ramacharita Ramayana in the dialect, local language, where everyone can grasp it. Sri Ramacharita That is probably the largest selling publication of Sri Gorakhpur Press. It's found in almost every house, Hindu house, and there are lakhs of groups who come together and read the Doha, the couplets of Sri Ramacharita throughout the world. This book was composed by Sri TulasiDas. He was born almost 470 years back in 1544 Vikram era. He was born with all the 32 teeth. He was born in this month of Shravan on Saptami, the 7th day. He was born with all the 32 teeth. So it was considered an inauspicious birth. Some of the villagers thought he won't survive, and if at all he survived, he would be a very great personality. Some other villagers, they thought he is inauspicious and deserves to be killed. So his mother, Hulasi, she gave this newborn child to her maidservant, Chuniya by name. The maidservant took this child to her own village, Haripur, and brought him up with all love and affection. But she herself and her mother-in-law, who was also very affectionate towards this child, they died in quick succession when this child was just 4 or 5 years old. After that, this child had to undergo tremendous pains and hardships at the age of 4 and 5 for meals, for a shelter. Then Sri Narahari Das, one of the gurus, he took this child as his disciple. He brought this child up, gave him Upanayana Samskar, the thread ceremony for a Brahmin boy, and told him Sri Ramakatha, the story of Sri Ram. But the child was too young to grasp the story. Then there was one more guru, Sheshnath Maharaj, and He taught Veda and all the scriptures to this boy. Afterwards, he was renamed from the parental name of Rambola to TulasiDas. He started reciting stories, he started giving discourses, lectures, and his name and fame spread as a great exponent, as an attractive lecturer. He was sought after everywhere. He was asked to come and lecture in various villages. Now he returned to his own village, the parental village. The people, they rebuilt his old house. His parents had died, so the people rebuilt his old house and asked him to, requested him to stay in his ancestral home. He used to go out and deliver lectures, spiritual lectures. One Sri Dinabandhu Pathak, he happened to listen to these stories by Sri TulasiDas. He was very much impressed by this boy, so he wanted his daughter to be married to him. He proposed, and then the marriage took place. Sri TulasiDas married Ratnavali at an age of almost 28 years. After marriage, this TulasiDas, there was a change in his attitude. He was mad after his wife. His wife was very beautiful, and he just clung to her. He could not leave her even for a few moments. He could not think of being separated from her. He was intoxicated by the beauty. Once, when he had gone out for a story session, this Ratnavali, she informed the maid and went to her father's house. When Sri TulasiDas returned and didn't find Ratnavali at home, he became mad like. He was restless. He could not sleep. Then he came to know from the maid that she had gone to her father's house. It was dark night. The sky was heavily clouded. There were thunderbolts and lightning and heavy downpour. But he didn't mind any of these. He just ran towards his father-in-law's house. Then when he reached the village, there was a canal, and he had crossed the canal to reach his father-in-law's house. The canal was full, flooded. He didn't know how to cross it. But, oh, he thought, God is so thankful that he has sent me a log of wood to hold on to and cross this canal. He held on to that log of wood and crossed the canal. But he came to know, realized that it was not a log of wood, but a dead body, a corpse floating on the canal. He reached the other bank. He entered the house at midnight and stood before his wife, Ratnavali. She was surprised that he has come in this stormy night. He said, "No, I can't stay away from you. I cannot bear even a few minutes without you. I could not sleep. I just came running. So much love for you. You know, the canal was flooded and there was a log of wood and I held on to it and crossed, but it was a corpse. Even the fear of a corpse, holding on to a corpse, that was not there. I am in so deep a love for you." She looked at him with pity, with a scornful face. "Oh, I pity you. You are so much infatuated by this body of flesh and blood and skin, a skin worn to a skeleton. I pity you. If you had half this devotion, half this affection for Sri Ram, you could have got his darshan, you could have been blessed by him, you would have been, you would have got rid of this fear for this worldly life. But you are fallen for this body." These words had magical impact on him. He just fell at her feet, folded both his hands and bowed to her, and the same moment he walked out of the house as a vairagi, as a renunciate, as a sannyasi. Then he roamed around, he went to Kashi, stayed there. That the place where he stayed is known as Tulasi Ghat in Kashi. He established a temple for Sri Hanuman at the same spot where he got the darshan of Sri Hanuman. And then at the age of 85, he composed this reputed, the beautiful Ramcharitmanas. The local scholars were against him. They were jealous of him and they wanted to destroy this text of Ramcharitmanas. They hid it in the Vishwanath temple under all other texts, and locked the temple and returned. But on the next day, when they opened the temple door, they found that Ramcharitmanas was on the top. They realized the divinity of Sri TulasiDas, bowed down to him. This Ramcharitmanas is a great source of inspiration. It reached Sri Ramayana to every Hindu house, lettered and unlettered. Even the unlettered common men, they recite these couplets of this Ramcharitmanas. Oh, Ramcharitmanas and the composer Sri TulasiDas, I salute to them, I bow down to them 100 times. And the mothers and wives like Ratnavali, who motivated her husband into the path of spirituality. She deserves 1,000 namaskars, 1,000 salutations for her greatness. I conclude today's story with this. Let us meet tomorrow with one more story. Om Tat Sat.